Hello, hello, my viewers. Hello, my well-wishers and my patrons. Today's lesson is quite different from the other lessons I have already imparted. And in my introduction, I want to inform you that in English language or in learning English language, you will have to face some questions. And these questions are framed by some WH words: who, which, whose, whom, why, clear, where, etc. And how. And how. And this framing of questions is not an easy task. I think it is an art and it is to be followed some grammatical rules. Without having followed the grammatical rules, we cannot frame questions with WH words. Hello, my viewers, my well-wishers, and my patrons. Hi, everyone. Please participate in the live streaming. And I am going to sharing my ideas about framing WH questions. Clear? For example, I am not going to make my introduction unnecessarily lengthy. I am going to share my ideas and knowledge of my classroom teaching with you. Clear? For example, I have already made the lesson plan and I am going to give you innumerable examples of how to make questions. Questions should be framed in such a manner that the answer must be hidden within the given sentences. Within the sentences given. Hello, my viewers. Be online and participate in my live streaming so that I may be encouraged and enthused, so that I may be inspired to give you the tidbits of grammar or grammatical knowledge. Please like, comment, and share, and if possible, subscribe my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. First of all, I may start with who. Who is actually suggests subject. Who actually suggests subject. For example, Ramon has worked out the sums. Ramon has worked out the sums. Clear? and you have been asked to frame a question with who. So how will you frame the question? Who has worked out the sums? Who has worked out the sums? And the answer is Raman. Clear? Now come to the second example. Sir Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravitation. Sir Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravitation. And if you ask by who, what will be the question? Who has discovered the law of gravitation? And the answer is Sir Isaac Newton. But you will have to keep it in your mind that question should be framed in such a manner that the answer can be found within the content. Within the content, the answer can be found. Clear? Another example of who. For example, Maradona has scored the winning goal. I have already made the lesson plan. And without making a lesson plan, I do not appear before you. Clear? Maradona has scored the match-winning goal. Now the question is, who has scored the match-winning goal? But you will have to maintain tense. Without tense, you cannot frame the question. If the content is in the present indefinite tense, your question should be in the present indefinite tense. If the content is in the past indefinite tense, your answer should be in the past indefinite tense. If the answer is in present continuous tense, your question should be in the present continuous tense. So, what you will have to observe, you will have to observe only the tense system. Clear? Actually, in framing questions, even the teachers also make tremendous mistakes in framing or making questions. And when you are going to face an interview, you will have to face WH questions. Clear? Another question. Gautam Buddha preached Buddhism. Gautam Buddha preached Buddhism. And if you make a question with who made or who preached Buddhism? And the answer is Gautam Buddha. Actually, when you use who, you are trying to get the answer that is subject. That is subject. By asking with who, you are trying to get the subject. Clear? Another example of who. There are many examples, but I have picked up some examples for your learning. Clear? For example, Ashoka conquered Kalinga. Ashoka conquered Kalinga. Ashoka was the emperor or the great king conquered Kalinga. And it is in the past indefinite tense. Therefore, your question should be, who conquered Kalinga? The answer is Ashoka. Another example. Hari Babu teaches me English. Hari Babu teaches me English. It is in the present indefinite tense. So, who teaches you English? Here you need not bring any auxiliary verb because you want to get the subject as the answer. You want to get the subject as answer. When, my dear viewers, want to get the subject as answer, you will have to frame a question with who, and there should be no auxiliary verb. And what you will have to maintain, that is tense only. Clear? Now I am giving you some examples of which, hello my viewers, what I expect from you, some likes, some comments, necessary comments, what you want to know and what I want to solve, and subscriptions from your end. Please subscribe my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. I like white color. Clear? I like white color. Hi. I am very happy to have you in my class. For example, which is actually a little bit complicated thing, because which, when you use which, there must be an auxiliary verb. For example, there are many books on the table, and I want the book written by Anton Chekhov. There are many books on the table, and I want the book written by Anton Chekhov. So, which is actually very pinpointed question. Very, very pinpointed question is which. So, you will have to write which of the books on the table, which of the books on the table do you want? Which of the books on the table, so which is a very pinpointed question. Which of the books on the table do you, do is the auxiliary verb, and use the second person, do you want? So there must be do. Clear? Because here books or book has been playing the role of an object, and when you want to get the object as answer, you must use do auxiliary verb. Clear? For example, there are 3 Mr. Banerjees in our office. There are 3 Mr. Banerjees in our office. Clear? I want to meet Mr. Banerjee with bald head. And the question should be, which of the Mr. Banerjees do you want to meet? Which of the Mr. Banerjees do you want to meet? Clear? So, which is used to suggest a very pinpointed thing, specific thing, specific man, etc. Another question. I like white flower. I like white flower. Clear? So when somebody asks you, by which flower or which color of the flower, which color of the flower do you like? And the answer is white color. Which color of the flower do you like? And the answer is very easy, that is white color. And you will have to bring do auxiliary verb. Another example. For example, Kana is the tallest boy in the class. Kana is the tallest boy in the class. But you will have to ask the question, which of the boys in the class, which of the boys in the class is the tallest? Is the tallest. Again, I am repeating. Which of the boys in the class is the tallest? Here there is no need of bringing auxiliary verb because is, that is the form of be verb, is playing the role of the principal verb. And there is no need of bringing do auxiliary verb. Clear? Another. I shall go by this road. I shall go by this road. Suppose you have been asked to frame a question with which. Clear? And in this case, you will have to ask, which road will you go by? Which road will you go by? Clear? Yes, somebody is trying to ask me a question. Yes, you may type the question and I will try my level best to give you the answer. I have no objection. I worked as an assistant teacher in a higher secondary school in English, and I rendered my service for more than 37 years. And from my classroom teaching experience, I am trying to share my ideas so that you may learn something. That is my benefit, and it has become my habit to be online or to live stream just after 11:30 p.m. Clear? Now example, which umbrella will he buy? For example, I will be taking the MTC examination. How should I study the vocabulary and grammar parts? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I will give you some tips of learning vocabulary. I will give you some tips. It is just off the track. It is just off the track. I am giving you some tips of learning vocabularies. First of all, I can suggest or I can advise you. Suppose you see that I am speaking English in front of you fluently, elegantly, and up to my capacity. I never teach English in Anglo-Bengali method. Clear? It is because I know that the students will not learn English if I try to teach them in Anglo-Bengali version. Clear? However, I will give you hundreds of vocabularies tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Okay, I will take a class tomorrow, but you will have to participate in the live stream, and I will be taking a class on vocabularies, on how to learn vocabularies. However, I should not talk rubbish. But first of all, I can advise you that go through English newspaper like Statesman, like Times of India, etc. every day. And while reading the newspaper, you will see that you are stumbling over new words. You are stumbling over new words. Leave those words. Leave those words and try to grasp the meaning from the other words. From the other words around the word. Around the word that you cannot understand, just you will get some other words around it and try to grasp the meaning. Later, you must underline the word with a pencil. Make a notebook and consult COD, that is Concise Oxford Dictionary, or Advanced Learners Dictionary, and you will get the meaning. For example, I am giving you an example from newspaper. For example, the boat capsized on the Ganga, and 15 passengers drowned. 15 passengers drowned. 7 of them could be rescued, and 7 have remained untraced. Because I was also a journalist, I worked in an English newspaper for 4 months. And you see that when I am speaking English, I am quoting from Times of India. For example, the boat capsized on the Ganga, 15 drowned, 7 of them could be rescued, and 7 have remained untraced. You see that you have picked up some vocabularies. For example, capsized. Capsized means the boat overturned. into the water or into the river. The boat overturned into the river or into the pond or into the water. Clear? Drowned. You have learnt the use of drowned, not were drowned, but drowned. Clear? And you have also learned rescued. You have also learned untraced. In this way, you will learn many new words every day and write them down in your exercise book, in your notebook, and later just try to use them in your own sentences. Clear? Hello, my dear friends and my viewers. I am giving you another example. For example, the vast areas of the district of Midnapur, the vast area of Midnapur, of the district of Midnapur, inundated with flood water, inundated with flood water, mud houses collapsed, cattle washed away, and the miseries and sufferings of human beings beggar description. As for example, I am giving you some examples. Okay, fluency in English just depends upon your own effort, your own capability. Just you will have to collect some good vocabularies. You will have to learn some grammatical construction, correct grammatical construction, and you will have to also try to express yourself very fluently, elegantly, and correctly. I have given you the example. I have told you that inundated. Inundated means went under water. Suppose you do not know inundated, the meaning of inundated. And in this case, just write down the word inundated, but you will get the meaning from the other words of the sentence. Clear? Okay. Bigger description. That means to become beyond description, that cannot be expressed in words. Bigger description. It is an adverbial phrase. It is an adverbial phrase. And all these languages have been picked up. Just I am telling you extempore how to learn vocabulary, sentence construction, and face interviews. Another example, I have gone out of the track, and I am very much inspired to give you some methods of how to enhance your knowledge of vocabulary. Clear? For example, the army boats have been pressed into action to rescue the water-marined people. The water-marooned people, M-A-R-O-O-N-E-D, water-marooned people. And you know that water-marooned means surrounded by water. They are living somehow. They are surviving somehow. But they have no way to come to the shore. The army boats have been pressed into action, clear, have been pressed into action to rescue the water-marooned people. Clear? Suppose you do not know the meaning of water-marooned, just write it down. Clear? You know that English language is the easiest language of the whole world. It has its particular accent or stress. It has its particular tense system. It has its flexible vocabularies, and you will have to go through. Then, suppose you have enough time and getting preparation for a higher level examination. In that case, you may go through the English storybooks. The English storybooks. And in the storybooks, the great minds have recorded their thoughts, have recorded their vocabularies, their grammatical constructions in such a beautiful manner that you will learn many things from you. So fluency in English depends upon you, depends upon your stock of words or vocabulary, depends upon your grammatical knowledge, depends upon your courage or bravery to speak English in front of so many people, etc. There is no problem. I will take a class on fluency on English another day, but tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. I will not take class on WH questions. I will try my level best to give you an idea on how to get vocabularies. And I shall supply you with many vocabularies. For example, you are telling your friend that the woman is too much pugnacious, P-U-G-N-A-C-I-O-U-S. Suppose your friend does not know that or doesn't know what the meaning of pugnacious is. Pugnacious is quarrelsome or querulous. Clear? Quarrelsome or querulous. So, you may use querulous, quarrelsome, or sometimes pugnacious. Clear? Okay, it's late at night and I'm an old man and it's my time to go to bed, and I fervently hope that all of you will like my class, will share, will comment and subscribe, and it is step 2 in this grammar. Tomorrow I promise that I will give you hundreds of vocabularies. Just take your notebook and your pen and I will give you single word for a group of words. Single word for a group of words and hundreds of words that will benefit you. That means you will be benefited. Stay safe, stay mellow. Good night, my friends. Thanking all of you.